Once upon a time, deep in a forest, nestled between towering trees and surrounded by lush greenery, there lived an old man. This wasn't just any old man. He was known throughout the land as a wise man who had answers for every question and could guide anyone who sought his help. His wisdom was like a beacon, drawing people from far and wide to come and learn from him. One day, a young man, burdened by the weight of his failures and disappointments, decided to visit the old man. He had worked hard, studied diligently, yet no matter how much effort he put in, he couldn't seem to catch a break. Failure after failure kept piling up, leaving him feeling discouraged and unsure of himself. As he stood before the old man, his eyes downcast, he poured out his frustration and despair. "Oh, wise man," he exclaimed, "I am tired of failing. I have given my all, worked tirelessly, but no matter what, I keep falling short. Please tell me, what should I do?" The old man listened patiently to the young man's tale of woe, his gaze unwavering. When the young man finished his story, the old man let out a soft sigh and a gentle smile touched his lips. He saw in the young man's eyes the pain and anguish that stemmed from his repeated failures. The old man knew that the young man needed more than just words of comfort. He needed a dose of wisdom that would serve as a guiding light in the darkness of his despair. So the old man spoke in a voice that was calm and soothing, yet carried the weight of ages. "My young friend, I understand your pain, but instead of giving in to discouragement, I want you to think about something else. Can you guess what it is?" The young man looked up, startled by the old man's words. He had expected the old man to offer words of sympathy or perhaps a magical solution to his problems. But this question hung in the air, leaving him confused and uncertain of how to respond. The old man continued, sensing the young man's confusion. "I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions and answer them honestly. The answers will show you the way to navigate through your failures and find success." The young man, eager to grasp at any hope of improvement, nodded eagerly and asked, "What are the questions, wise man?" The old man, with a twinkle in his eye, posed the first question. "My first question for you is this. If you were to drop a diamond into a muddy river, would its value diminish?" The young man pondered over the question. He had not anticipated such a peculiar query, but he tried his best to analyze the situation. "Well," he began, "a diamond is a precious gemstone, and its worth is not determined by its surroundings. So I believe dropping it into mud wouldn't change its value." The old man smiled, pleased with the young man's train of thought. "That is correct," he affirmed. "A diamond retains its value regardless of its location. Now let us consider another scenario. If gold were to fall into a roaring fire, would it be consumed by the flames?" The young man thought for a moment. "No, wise man," he replied. "I believe the gold would shine even brighter after the fire has passed." "Excellent," the old man exclaimed. "You are indeed a quick learner. Gold, just like a diamond, is valued for its inherent qualities. It may undergo changes due to the heat, but its essence remains the same. It, too, can become even more radiant after facing the fire." The young man felt a spark of understanding ignite within him. He realized that these scenarios were not merely hypothetical, but held deeper meanings that he was yet to uncover. With curiosity piqued, he eagerly awaited the old man's final question, which would, he sensed, hold the key to his most pressing concern, his failures. The old man, noticing the transformation that was beginning to take place in the young man's demeanor, decided to deliver the final blow. His final question was both simple and profound. "Here is my last question," he said. "If seeds are kept inside a box, would they ever grow?" The young man didn't hesitate. "No, wise man," he responded confidently. "They need to be planted in the soil to grow into plants." The old man's smile widened. "You got it right once again," he said. "Seeds must face the darkness of the soil to grow. Only then can they flourish and bear fruit." As the young man absorbed these profound lessons, the old man shared an enlightening truth. "My young friend, your failures are not the end. They are merely the beginning of your growth. Just as a seed needs darkness to sprout, you may sometimes need to go through tough times to bring out the best in you. These challenges are not meant to harm you, but to help you grow stronger and wiser." The young man listened intently, his eyes shining with newfound understanding. He realized that his previous perspective of failure was skewed. He had seen his failures as stumbling blocks rather than stepping stones toward success. The old man continued, his voice echoing with empathy. Failure is not the opposite of success, my boy. It is part of the journey. Every successful person you admire has faced their share of failures. It is how they bounced back from those failures that made them who they are. As the conversation drew to a close, the young man felt a surge of gratitude towards the old man. The weight that had been pressing down on his heart seemed to lift, replaced by a sense of hope and determination. He understood that his failures were not a reflection of his worth. They were merely chapters in the story of his life, contributing to the masterpiece that he was yet to create. Before leaving, the young man asked, "But wise man, how do I turn my failures into stepping stones? How do I make them work for me?" The old man's eyes twinkled with wisdom. "It's simple, my young friend. Learn from each failure. Analyze what went wrong, adjust your approach, and try again. Failure becomes a stepping stone when you make it one. It's a chance to grow, to refine your skills, and to become more resilient." As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the forest floor, the young man prepared to leave. He thanked the old man profusely, knowing that he had received a gift far more valuable than gold. With newfound determination in his heart, he bid farewell to the old man and embarked on his journey home. From that day forward, the young man carried the wisdom of the old man's words close to his heart. He started to view his failures not as defeats, but as opportunities to learn and improve. Whenever he faced a setback, he remembered the old man's words. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the journey. He began to analyze his mistakes, adjust his strategies, and try again, each time emerging stronger and wiser than before. As the years passed, the young man grew into a successful and respected member of his community. He never forgot the invaluable lesson he had learned from the old man in the forest. The memory of their conversation inspired him to help others who were struggling with their own failures. He became known as a beacon of hope, guiding others through the darkness of despair towards the light of success. And so the tale of the young man and the old man became a legend, whispered around campfires and shared among friends. It served as a reminder that failure was not the end, but a mere detour on the path to success. For it is in the face of adversity that one's true character is forged, and it is through perseverance and resilience that one truly learns the meaning of triumph.